It is Tuesday, the 4th of April, 2023. We're trying to get an alignment of the pink moon rising more or less in alignment with the pink house here. But we're having considerable difficulty. I just finished a 20-minute video clip. The moon should have come up in, and we don't see it anywhere. Should have come up officially. The official Moonrise time was 5:57. It is now 6:16. And I just don't see the moon anywhere. By this time, it's supposed to be well above the horizon, and almost due east. I'm having difficulty figuring out exactly where due east is because the compass in my cell phone is essentially totally useless. It's not properly calibrated. It's even giving very different readings on different times when I use it. So it's just not reliable at all. I think in future I might just get a little regular pocket magnet for the times I need to find the direction. Again, really don't know what's going on here. No sign of the moon. And I do believe, though, it's probably because there's thin cloud to the east. It looks, the sky's basically blue, clear all around, just a few clouds, like obvious clouds here and there. But I think to the east there may be sort of thin, hazy cloud that is keeping the moon being seen. And so we're just going to keep recording here until we actually do see the moon. I mean, it's got to become visible at some point, even if by the time it does become visible, it's well above the horizon. I'm just going to have another look at my cell phone here, 618. The moon now is due east and about 3 degrees above the horizon. So I don't see it anywhere. It's a fairly narrow view in terms of this lens. But I just don't see it anywhere at all. Hazy clouds are preventing the moon from being seen. And I scanned the whole horizon. Well north of east and well south of east. No sign of moon anywhere. Oh, now I see it. And it is well above the horizon. And it came up somewhat. Where the heck is it? Okay, hang on. Back down. There's the tower. There's the bridge. It's up here. Barely see it. It's there between the clouds. So it came up somewhat further north than I was expecting it to. And as we can see, it's barely visible in the haze, the clouds, the sort of brightness levels as well. But yeah, it's there. And we're just going to call this a wash. But the good news, the good news is that if the weather is good tomorrow, I will have a pretty good idea where to be in terms of getting an alignment with the pink house. Although it looks like I might have some trees in the way in that instance. It looks like in order to get an alignment with the pink house, that the moon has to be coming up a bit south of east as opposed to north of east. So, as I said, the moon is there. It's sort of right now behind that thin cloud just below the top there. Yeah, we didn't get what we were hoping for. Lower in the horizon, it probably would have been almost invisible in that sort of hazy gray cloud. It would have been barely distinguishable from the cloud. So much for that. As I said, tomorrow, if the sky is reasonably clear, which it probably won't be because we're talking about freezing rain tomorrow, I might be able to get in line with the pink house. Although, all things considered, it's better when the moon is coming up south of east. So that's that. I think we'll let the camera continue to film a bit. I'm not even going to bother taking a still photo. I took a couple of still photos, very boring still photos. But I think very close to the frame. So we do have crows flying around, but the moon is clearly well above the horizon now. Just going to raise the camera a bit. Keep tracking the moon here. But that's it. I mean, nothing to speak about really. But I will continue filming. I'll pan a little to the right. I'll just let the moon come up in the frame here. And yeah, we're basically calling it a wrap soon. But definitely I gotta get the proper compass because one of my phone's totally useless. And maybe one or two good apps for finding exactly where the moon is on any given night. Stellarium tells me where it is. But if I don't have a compass associated with that, then it's not helpful to have to guess where east is kind of in. So at least I know where east is. At least I have a pretty good idea where due east is from this location. So that's good to know. We definitely did not get images we were hoping for. tomorrow, maybe the night after, because then the moon will be, a fair bit south of east. So I should be able to get a alignment of the moon coming up in a quite dark sky. But that would mean we probably wouldn't see the pink in the house so much. Really do want it coming up when there's some light in the sky and the house looks reasonably pink. So, yeah, not very exciting, is it? And I knew this could be an issue because, when you're taking images of the moon rising the night before the full moon, the sky is often a bit too bright, and the moon is, indistinguishable or barely distinguishable from the haze below on the horizon, and that's what happened tonight. We just weren't able to see the moon. It was there, but essentially camouflage, as it were, in the haze. So it took me a while to see it. So that pink house is still there, but quite a bit lower than the moon. And a little to the right. So no alignment. In fact, no alignment anything at this point. The moon is well above the horizon. There wasn't anything terribly interesting to get an alignment with in any case, other than the pink house. Could have had an alignment with the pylons of the Samuel de Champlain Bridge. They are a couple of degrees north of the house, and closer to the moon actually came up. But like I said, they probably would not have been distinguishable from the haze in any case. It wouldn't have made for a very interesting photo or video in any case. So tomorrow night should be better if the skies are clear. There's no guarantee they will be. And all things considered, if we're talking about freezing rain during the day tomorrow, I think that's pretty good. Then it'll just be too cloudy to see the moon at all when it comes up tomorrow night. I hope that's not the case, but it could very well be, unless things miraculously clear up in the afternoon or early evening. I'm certainly not counting on that. So you see the moon just slightly left of center here. Again, we're using a 400mm lens at ISO 64, the camera, f11, the f-stop lens, 160 with the shutter speed. And the exposure is maybe just a little bit darker than what I'm actually seeing, at least in terms of what I'm seeing on the screen. And then again, the video itself might be even darker, excuse me. So what I'm going to do here, as I said, right now we're at 160 with f11. What I'm seeing on the screen is a little bit lighter, a little bit darker than what I'm actually seeing with the eye. So we're going to change the shutter speed. That's a 1/25th, and that's closer to what I'm seeing with the eye. Again, still a little dark on the screen, possibly even darker on the video, the actual video, because the screen may be a bit lighter than the actual video. So let's go another third of a stop. This is 100 at f11, and yeah, very, very close to what I'm seeing with the eye. More or less the same light level. Again, even possibly a little bit darker than what I'm seeing with the eye. So I'm going to go another third of a stop open. So now we're at an 80th at f11. And what I'm seeing is very, very close to what I'm seeing with the eye. I'm just going to keep going because I'm trying to calibrate my screen so that it matches what I'm seeing. So right now we're at an 80th at f11, and it's very close to the correct exposure on the screen. It may not be the case in the video. So we're going to go to a 60th. It's looking a bit washed out. The 60th is kind of washed out on the screen, but might be okay in the actual video. And we're just going to recalibrate the angle of the camera here. We'll raise it a bit. So now we got the moon closer to the center. So what I'm seeing on my screen is somewhat washed out. The moon is visible over to 60th at f11. I'm going to bring it down to a 50th. It's quite washed out on the screen, but I am seeing the moon. But I don't see any blue in the sky. It's basically all washed out. So I'm not going to mess around too much. So 50th of a second, looking pretty washed out on the screen, but we can still see the moon. 60th, very, very close to what I'm seeing with the eye. 80th, maybe a bit darker than what I'm seeing with the eye. 100th, again, that much darker than what I'm seeing with the eye. And 125th, definitely darker than what I'm seeing with the eye. So with that, I will be able to calibrate the screen properly. So it matches on the screen, what's on the actual video. So I see an ambulance. Anything else interesting, really? So the moon is a bit to the left of the pink house, quite high above it. Really not a heck of a lot else worth looking at here. So we're going to come down though and have a last look at that pink house. So there's the bridge. So the moon would have come up where the bridge is on the left, maybe a bit further left of the bridge. That's where due east is from where I'm standing, which is the corner of Girard and Saint Jacques, slightly west of the corner of Girard and Saint Jacques. So if I was right at the corner of Girard and Saint Jacques, and looking at the pylons of the Samuel de Champlain Bridge, that would be very, very close to due east. So that's for future reference. So we'll just look at the pink house again before we wrap this up. No still photos. I think I took a couple with the other camera, but I'm not going to bother with this one. And that's our unsuccessful attempt to get alignment of the moon with the pink house. That was our first option. If I'd seen the moon coming up elsewhere, behind the bridge pylons, if it was visible coming up, I would have changed. Just kept that for reference for the future. So tomorrow night it'll definitely be coming up closer to where the pink house is, but still I'd say somewhat to the left probably. And again, it's probably going to be clouded out. I don't know. But we'll come back if it's reasonable, if it makes sense to come back. If there's a chance of seeing the moon coming up near the pink house here, we'll be here tomorrow night.